It's May 2026. Global supply chains are fracturing, and global markets are in freefall. For the last 3 months, a proxy conflict in Iran has escalated into a hard blockade, cutting off access to one of the most critical energy corridors on Earth. Traditional diplomacy has reached a stalemate, leaving a dangerous geopolitical vacuum. To break the deadlock, the American president is flying directly into Chinese airspace. Inside the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, 2 rival superpowers are sitting down to negotiate a way out of the crisis. Donald Trump relies on blunt transactional leverage to force immediate concessions, while Xi Jinping maintains a strategy designed for long-term domestic stability. They are playing a high-stakes game of geopolitical chess, where one wrong move could trigger a global military conflict. This map highlights exactly where the crisis started: the Strait of Hormuz. Look closely at Karg Island, right off the coast. Iranian military infrastructure sits dangerously close to the shipping lanes, allowing them to effectively trap 20% of the world's daily oil supply. Without safe passage, massive crude carriers are entirely stuck at sea. Refining schedules are wrecked, and fuel prices are spiking globally. Washington is demanding that Beijing pull its economic support for Tehran to force open the strait. At the exact same time, the U.S. is heavily sanctioning the very Chinese companies it needs help from, citing satellite intelligence of covert oil shipments. A regional standoff thousands of miles away is now dictating the cost of energy everywhere, forcing rivals into negotiations to keep their factories running. In the Pacific, naval fleets and fighter jets are running highly aggressive patrols right to the edge of Taiwan's airspace. These naval movements center on a specific prize: the silicon foundries producing the world's most advanced microchips. These components are the mandatory building blocks for training artificial intelligence. The ability to process neural networks is now treated with the same strategic severity as uranium enrichment was during the Cold War. Dominating this supply chain has become a requirement for technological supremacy in the 21st century. In the middle of these military standoffs, the 2 nations are brokering massive commercial truces. Billionaire CEOs have joined the U.S. delegation as unofficial diplomats, working to protect their corporate supply lines from the fallout. Major American hardware companies remain deeply integrated into China's massive manufacturing hubs. A total decoupling, driven by retaliatory tariffs and export bans, would trigger massive unemployment and supply shortages for both regimes. In a multipolar world, absolute separation is impossible. These rivals must finalize billion-dollar deals even while preparing for conflict. The oil blockade, the semiconductor race, and the corporate trade deals all converge inside these closed-door meetings in Beijing. This dashboard illustrates the complexity of negotiations. Tension zones in the Middle East, the Pacific, and North America all feed into one central pressure point. Finding a solution requires a grand bargain. Easing military pressure in one hemisphere demands immediate trade concessions in another. The necessity of this summit confirms that Washington can no longer manage these global fractures unilaterally. American influence now shares the stage with Chinese interests. The old world order is being replaced by harsh bilateral negotiations, where every global crisis is treated as leverage to extract a specific economic advantage. Global survival now rests on a fragile transactional ledger, managed by rival superpowers constantly operating on the brink.